Summer is only 90 days away, and if the thought of taking your shirt off makes you cringe, you're definitely not alone. You probably think it's way too late to get in shape before summer. Well, who decided that? So I'm going to show you exactly how I'd go from fat Sakamoto to prime Sakamoto with a simple step-by-step plan just in time for summer. The first step you need to do if you want to get fit before summer is this. Sakamoto was once the best assassin in the whole world. And while he's still pretty strong as fat Sakamoto, he's still fat. Maybe he keeps up with his workouts, but because he eats a gargantuan amount of food, and not the good kind most of the time, no matter how strong he is, his diet will always be one step ahead of him, which is why we're not going to be touching a single exercise until we can fix our diet. But Kevin, I don't want to scarf salad and dry chicken all day. Hey, I get it. I too hate salad and overcooked chicken, but you don't need to eat any of those if you want to get shredded. There's a much easier and simpler way to look good for summer without giving up the foods you love, which is why before you think about food, you need to go to this website right here. Type in your stats like age, height, and weight, look at your activity level, and boom, you just found your maintenance calories. That's the number of calories that your body needs to just exist and function. I like to call these existence calories. Breathing, thinking, embarrassing yourself on YouTube, all of that burns calories. Once you've got that number, you've got your starting point. But just because you have your maintenance doesn't mean you're going to get aesthetic. You now need to decide one of two things. Am I over fat or am I under muscle? If you are over fat, this means you've got a gut, maybe some big arms, some big legs, and your weight is way over what should be considered healthy for your height. If you fall into this category, you need to shed your fat. But if you want to get shredded in as little as 90 days, I'd aim to lose about 1% of your current body weight per week. So if you are 180 pounds, that's about 1.8 pounds per week, which translates roughly to eating about 500 to 700 calories, less than the maintenance calories that you calculated right before. One thing that I found works really well is starting with a harder deficit in the first 1 to 2 weeks, where you aim to lose that 1% right off the bat. The scale drops fast, you lose a load of water weight, and because of all of that, you look more shredded almost immediately. And seeing that early progress is going to do a lot more for your motivation than any generic anime quote ever could. Then from 3 weeks onward, I like to ease back into about a 500 calorie deficit, which is going to be a comfortable pace of 1 pound per week. You'll still be losing fat, you're just going to feel so much better doing it. It feels like you're eating so much more food, yet you're still losing weight. If you are under-muscled, however, it's going to be the opposite. You might be a very skinny dude, or you probably have kind of a gut, but you still have some very small, frail, skinny arms. If either of that sounds like you, we need to pack on as much muscle on you as possible. Now, everybody thinks that, oh, you just gotta eat more in order to build muscle. But the problem is that if you eat too much, you'll put on more than just muscle. So to maximize muscle gain without gaining any body fat, you should limit your calorie surplus to 250 calories over your maintenance. Whichever body type you find yourself in, one thing is for certain. Even if you nail your calories, you're not going to look aesthetic. Hitting calories without doing this next thing is like Escanor without the sun. Mediocre. Which is why you must, I repeat, you must be eating 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight. A little under is fine. 0.8, 0.7 seems to be a sweet spot for some people, but in general, more is always going to be better. Just in case you might have miscalculated or done something stupid like say the peanut butter has enough protein for you to build muscle, which by the way, it doesn't. Now, instead of peanut butter for your protein, the best sources for the highest quality protein that your body can absorb easily are animal foods like beef, eggs, dairy, Greek yogurt, and of course, whey protein or beef protein are also really good if you're looking for more affordable, calorie-efficient ways to get your protein. However, my number one source of protein is not meat, it's not eggs. It's actually something you've probably never thought to take a bite of before. It's Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. I kid you not, calories to protein, Parmigiano Reggiano cheese will beat any protein powder that you can get. Now, I know some of you are impatient and you want to level up as fast as possible. Just like how Sakamoto can lose 50, 100 pounds in a single second. See, Sakamoto does very, very, very intense exercise in a very short amount of time to lose all that weight. But what's really happening is that he's depleting depleting his glycogen stores. And glycogen is just a fancy word for the energy or sugar that's stored in your muscles. When this glycogen goes down, he's not only burning more fat for fuel, but he's also losing a ton of water, since every gram of glycogen holds on to about 3 or 4 grams of water. So if you want to get shredded quickly just in time for summer, you'll want to try to shed your glycogen stores as well. And the best way to do that is to just go low carb. Not only will your water weight go down, your body will adapt to burn more fat for its fuel source rather than relying on carbs plus fat. That means you're going to look more defined, a lot more vascular, so more veiny, more shredded, and you're going to lose more weight. Almost all within like the first 2 weeks. It's pretty cool. Lower carbs also tend to crush your appetite, which makes staying within a calorie deficit a lot easier. Now, not everybody needs to do this. This is a tool. It's not really a lifestyle. So think critically if you want to actually try this for yourself, if you really need to do this. I personally don't, but again, this is just a tool that I'm giving you so you guys know exactly what you can do to get shredded quickly for summer. But the one thing that is definitely non-negotiable for the next 90 days is exactly the type of food you eat. One of the reasons Sakamoto got so fat was not just because he was eating tons of food, but he was eating things like pork buns, ice cream, takoyaki, and even lollipops as well. Foods like these are low in nutrients, so your body demands you to eat more, and they tend to be very high in calories, so you're eating more and putting on more weight faster. If we're trying to lock in and get fit for summer, we gotta stick to whole, single ingredient foods. If it has like a 40 item ingredient list and it comes in a shiny plastic bag, oh boy, it's going to be tasty, but your body is going to slowly reject it. I know that sounds harsh, but we are not here to half-ass it. We are here to get to work and look like an anime character, damn it. And there is no room for cheat days on this arc. Whole foods are going to keep you full, it's going to keep your energy stable, and it's going to minimize the fat you put on. It's the difference between Baki Hanma's diet and whatever pig god is eating. I guess whoever pig god is eating. One last thing about diet, you have to track everything. You cannot hit a target that you just can't see. Use an app like Chronometer to log every single meal, at least for a few weeks until you know your portions by feel. Bars. Most people are actually shocked by how much they're actually eating when they actually track it, or they see how little protein they're actually getting. A lot of people overestimate the protein, so do yourself a favor and measure your food. Now, before I go into the exact exercises that you should be doing to get your summer anime physique, I just wanted to let you guys know that the Summer Arc Games are literally starting today inside my Shonen Strength community. This is where you get the chance to find a rival, compete for cash prizes, and win a free month of coaching from me. Inside the community, you're also going to gain access to my 90-day program that you can literally just follow to build your anime physique starting from zero. So if you're really looking to lock in and get aesthetic for summer, join and start working out today. And just as a warning, in case you didn't think that was awesome already, the price is going to be going up March 29th, which is just 7 days from now. So there has never been a better time to join. Just click the link in the description. So now that we've covered step 1, which is all about the diet, we need to move on to step 2, which is just as important. Here's how it works. Let's take a look at Sakamoto again. Sakamoto may be fat, but he's not out of shape per se. He can still run really fast, break walls, and click a mechanical pencil very fast, which is why nailing your training is going to be key here. Now, everybody and their mothers know that exercise is the key to getting fit, blah, 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 blah. But when it comes to building an anime physique, especially if we want to do it efficiently, it's not about training more, it's about training smarter. So first things first, we need the most optimal schedule to build our anime physique, meaning we need a way to build as much muscle as possible, train as much as possible, while giving our muscles the most optimal time to rest. That's why training the push-pull leg split is going to be a no-brainer for these 90 days. On push days, we work chest, shoulders, triceps. Pull days, we do the back and biceps. And on leg days, quads, hamstrings, glutes, and calves. You run through the full cycle of working out with 2 rest days built in, 5 training days, 2 recovery days. This is the exact kind of structured arc that separates guys who finally look good for the summer and from guys who keep looking like melted ice cream every summer. Not to mention, this training gives you the perfect workout window. For a majority of people, they can only spare 45 minutes to an hour of working out every day. And since your training volume is optimized with this split, you can do just that. Now, you don't need 30 different exercises to get aesthetic. You just need the right exercises. What you need is compound movements that hit the most muscles at once and build that aesthetic V-taper with those big arms, that juicy chest, and do not forget those legs. First on the list is going to be your pull-ups. King of back exercises, period. If you're not strong enough for these yet, just get started with inverted rows. Then start building up to those pull-up negatives, and finally, you'll be able to do the pull-up. Pull-ups are what's going to give you that wide V-taper look, and it's going to make you look jacked even with a shirt on. Chin-ups, which is that supinated grip, that underhand grip, is what's gonna make your biceps pop. If you're struggling with these, start off with jackknife chin-ups. On push days, dips are gonna be your best friend. They target the chest, shoulders, and triceps all at once. If you can't do dips yet, push-ups are gonna be a great foundation. Decline push-ups shifts the emphasis to your upper chest and starts building that shelf. And with pike push-ups, without any equipment, you can build some massive boulder shoulders. On leg days, you're gonna wanna do pistol squats. They're unilateral, you can train one leg at a time. They're incredibly brutal to do, but they are hyper effective. If you can't do these yet, start off with the bodyweight squats, maybe do some one leg variations like lunges or Bulgarian split squats, work your way up to the pistol squat. Now, that's just an example. You can fit whatever exercises you want. But here's the thing to keep in mind. Building an anime physique is all about proportions, not just about size. The main goal is to pick 4 or 5 different exercises that target different planes of movement. Vertical pulling, like pull-ups and chin-ups, that's what's going to give you width. Horizontal pulling, like inverted rows, gives you that thickness. Vertical pushing, like pike push-ups, that's what gives you those shoulder caps. Horizontal pushing, like dips and push-ups, that's going to be more focused on your chest and triceps. And of course, legs is going to provide the base for everything. Hit all of these consistently and you're going to be building a physique that looks good from every angle. But no matter which exercises you choose from, it's not going to matter if you train too much or too little. The sweet spot for maximum muscle growth is doing 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week. If you're a beginner, I would start at the lower end, try to do 10 sets, 10 to 15, and if you're a little more advanced, 15 to 20 sets. On top of that, every single exercise should be taken to failure or at least a couple reps shy of failure. That means you get to the point where you're either not able to do another rep or your next rep becomes painfully slow. For most people, once they hit failure, that's when they stop and rest. Well, who decided that? Instead, drop into an easier progression of the same exercise immediately. Finish with pull-ups, drop it to pull-up negatives. Finish with those dips, do some push-ups. You're going to be wringing out every last drop that your muscles have. This is what separates those who see results in the 90 days and from those who plateau. If all of this sounds too complex and overwhelming, again, I make it very easy to follow in my 90-day program in my Shonen Strength community. Now, training hard is one thing, but if you never let your body recover, you'll end up looking like Deku after fighting Muscular, which is why you need to know how to rest. There are 3 places I want you to implement your rest. First is between sets. Rest 2 to 3 minutes depending on the exercise. The heavier and more difficult the exercise, the more you'll likely want to rest. The second rest is going to be between your workout days. The PPL split already handles this for you. Rest at least 48 hours between working days. Each muscle gets at least 48 hours of rest before you hit it again. Third is going to be between training cycles. Every 6 to 8 weeks, take a deload week where you have your volume, you do light work like yoga, or you can literally do nothing and just walk around all day. It's gonna let your joints breathe, you're gonna avoid overtraining, you're gonna recover fatigue, and you're gonna avoid injury. So you've nailed the diet, your training is dialed in, but there's a third layer that people either skip entirely or do completely wrong. And this is stuff where if you stack it on top of everything we've already done, it's going to make the results seem unfair. So let's jump right into the final step, because we're going to be using our buddy Sakamoto one last time. Sakamoto is strong. For all intents and purposes, he's pretty fit. But he's not just relying on his raw strength to get the job done. What makes him a legendary assassin is that he uses every resource he can to his advantage. Whether that's cough drops, toys, or a pencil. John Wick style. Every single element of this guy's life is hyper optimized. So, what does that mean for us? If we're trying to get the anime physique of our dreams before summer, we will need to hyper-optimize and use every single resource in our lives to get there. This starts with the very thing that you keep in your pocket, that damn phone. You always on that damn phone. You can eat perfectly and train hard every single day, but if you're spending hours diving into YouTube rabbit holes or watching the latest iceberg explain videos at 3 a.m., it's time to stop. If you're only sleeping 5 hours a night, you are wasting a massive chunk of effort. While you sleep, your body is doing the actual work of repairing and building muscle. So if you disrupt this system and what it's supposed to do, it's gonna mess with your gains. So sleep 7 to 9 hours, minimum, no compromises. Next resource that you need to take advantage of right now, because it's literally one of the best substances in the world. It helps your muscles produce more energy, it promotes muscle recovery, and it helps to make them look bigger. All that happens with just 5 grams of it per day. That, of course, is creatine. This is the only supplement I would honestly recommend to anybody, no exceptions. take creatine. Now, this next one is going to sound stupid simple, but if you're wondering why your training is tanking, why you feel hungrier, and why you have brain fog and bloating, this might be the reason why. You might be, in fact, very dehydrated. You want to aim for at least 3 liters of water per day, a little more on training days, or just really pay attention to whether or not you feel thirsty. And yes, drinking more water actually helps you hold on to less water. You lose more water retention. When your body's properly hydrated, it stops panicking and it starts to see, oh shoot, we're actually probably hydrated. We don't need to hold on to this water underneath our skin, and it sheds it. Plus, having more water in your stomach means less food in your stomach. A win-win. Now, here is the dirty little secret about 90-day transformations. And it's one of the reasons why Sakamoto is still strong to this day. He never did it alone. Whether with a partner, or a trio, or even with the support of his family, he had someone by his side to go on this journey with. The diet and training, they're actually the easy part, but staying consistent over the 90 days, this is where people completely fall off. The best thing you can do, genuinely the highest return on investment, is finding somebody or something that can hold you accountable. A training partner, a community, a coach, or even just posting your progress publicly. But there is one more thing that I do need to tell you. You can follow every single step in this video correctly, nail the diet, crush the training, sleep 9 hours per night, but you will still find it almost impossible to build the physique of your dreams if your biology is still broken, aka your testosterone levels are all the way down here. So check out this video right here if you want to know exactly what's destroying your testosterone and how to fix it.